open your projects to the back page, or well, second last page, page 3 of 4, should say. Okay, and you're gonna see a diagram there. And what that diagram is this, okay? This piece of angle iron here, all right? And we are going to figure out our measurements this morning. So I've written the first 2 or first 3 on the board, or first 2, pardon me, the A and B, which are given to us, okay? That means 14 inches from here to the end, and then another 14 inches to this measurement right here, okay? I'm gonna help get the measurements first, and then I'm gonna show you how to place them on here, all right? Because it's very important, the order that we do place them on there, okay? So the next one is our C measurement, and what does it say for the C measurement, folks? Yeah, A times 1.414. Now we have not done offsets or anything yet in math. That will be next class. So this is kind of a preview, okay, of what we're gonna do here, all right? So that means 14 times 1.414. Do it on your calculator. Tell me what you get. 19.796. Now we need to change that 0.796 into fractions of an inch. Then we're gonna multiply it by, what do I always say to go to if we haven't given you anything? 16, right? So we're gonna multiply it by 16 here, okay? So that 0.796 times 16 equals what? 13, okay? So that's 13 sixteenths, which gives us a measurement of 19 and 13 sixteenths, which will be our C measurement. Okay? Yes. 0.796 times 16. Remember I said in math class, if I do not give you a number for fractions of an inch, you go up to sixteenths, okay? Multiply it by sixteenths, all right?
You can make it as accurate as you like. Yeah. You can do it to the 32nd.
If you want to, yeah.
Or the 64.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the 100
Oh yeah.
Never heard of that one?
They know this. They know this.
I'm not sure what that mark is on the table.
So, our next measurement is our E and, oh no, we got D. That's 1 7/8. So that means each side of this is 1 7/8 and 1 7/8 of an inch. That is from center to end, center to end here. Okay? Okay. Thanks, Zach. You're welcome. All right. Next, we have our E and F measurement, which is 1 7/8, E and F, which is equal to 1 7/8 times what? 2.414. Okay. Let's figure that out. We can use our calculators for that. 1 ABC 7 ABC 8 times 2.414 equals 4.52625. Okay? Which is about what? If you were to guess, 4.5. I'd say 4.5 should be completely fine here. Okay? That means your F measurement is 4.5 inches. E is 4.5 on each side. And 4.5 here as well. Okay? Now we have all our measurements at this point, okay? Does everyone have them written down? Good? Yeah, take your time, take a second. Get them all written down, very important, okay? Is there any questions on how we got these measurements, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, Stars? Yes.
Lost after 0.796 times 16. I don't know how you got that back.
13 sixteenths. Okay, do you remember math class, right? This is 19 point what? 796. 96 inches. We need to change this into fractions of an inch. What do we need to do? Times what? If I wanted it to the nearest eighth, what would I multiply it by? Yeah, if I wanted it to the nearest 32nd, what would I multiply it by? Okay, so I wanted it to the nearest 16th, so what did I multiply it by? Correct. Okay.
I got 12.
Okay, and what do we do with that 12.736? Do we have 12.736 sixteenths? No. We got to, what? Round up, okay? There you go, all right? So you're gonna round up at that point. That's where we got 13 sixteenths, okay?
I have a question.
Please.
Why are we taking these measurements? What are we making?
We're making an angle bracket project here. Just this guy, okay? So if cut and bent properly, it should look like this by the time we're done, okay? All right?
So what are you cutting those? You cutting those sections out?
Oh, we are definitely going to cut those sections out. I need them to mark the sections first before we cut them out. Okay? This is where it, yes, sir.
You gotta like angle the pieces for the weld. Like it shows like 1/8 of like angle on the.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay. Now, if you notice on this angle iron, and I'm going to grab a smaller piece, okay? But this angle iron's about 1/8 of an inch thick, okay? All the way around. So if we make our marks, and our mark goes right to the face of this angle iron, it's not going to work, okay? We have to start our measurements about 1/8 of an inch off the edge of the angle iron. Okay, so you really need to make a mark here. You need to measure it. And then you're gonna have 1/8 of an inch here, so on and so forth, 1/8 of an inch here, 1/8 of an inch here, and another 1/8 of an inch here, okay? And that's to compensate for that wall on the angle iron, all right? So when we mark it, it's gonna mark up to your 1/8 of an inch mark, not right to the face here, okay? It will not work if you do it that way. Yes, sir. Well, absolutely, man. Absolutely, I will, okay? I absolutely will, all right? And I'll show you on the small one. I'm gonna draw it out myself, and then I'll lift it up so you guys can all have a look, okay? All right, now you physically can do it with the tape measure if you'd like, or a square, and so on and so forth, but really it's 1/8 of an inch. You could almost look right down at the angle iron and see, well, there's my wall right there, so I can make my mark about that thick off the edge, okay? You see what I'm talking about here, guys? And if you want to, you can do a line all the way across. Just grab another straight edge, and you can have 1/8 of an inch mark all the way across. Not necessary, okay? Because we're only making those marks there, all right? So, our first mark is what? 4.5 inches, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark this on my angle iron, 4.5 inches. Okay? Here. And very important, folks, you can see that it's facing here. I have the face towards me here and away from the top. That's where you're gonna make your mark along the entire top section here. If you do it this way, and make the marks inside here, it's not gonna work for you, okay? So make sure you have your angle iron placed so this face is facing towards you, okay? 4.5 inches here, I got my mark. Got another one here, and if you want to first, which is a good idea, you could put your square on here and get all of these measurements first. All the way across, and just put a straight line coming down here. Okay, so we can get our 4.5 straight line. 14 inches over, straight line. Another 14 inches over from that, straight line. Okay? Following me? I'm gonna do it on the larger piece so we can see exactly what we're doing. So I got 4.5. I can mark that. I can come over, I can mark 14. Okay, another 14 plus 14. I can come all the way over and mark 28. Okay, and those are my first 3. And again, I'm gonna take my square and I'll lift this up and show you guys here in a second. Okay, and there's my first 3 measurements. 4.5 here, 14 inches, and another 14 inches. Okay, you guys paying attention?
What's the last measurement?
That's the 19 and 13/16, which we will take last. Just want them to get these ones done first.
And then,
Yes, sir.
then you just go 1 7/8 on either side of those.
Correct, yeah, I'm just about to do that here and I'll show you exactly how to do that, okay? So again, make sure you take the 1/8 off the bottom. Okay, you guys see? 1/8 here, where my wall is gonna be, all right? Everyone can see that? Okay?
What happens if you don't do that?
Well, then you're gonna cut right into the flat part of the angle iron itself, and you're not gonna get it to bend properly. You could possibly cut it off, okay? And we don't want that to happen, all right? Next, we have our 4.5 inch mark, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna take my square, I'm gonna line it up with the 2 points, and if you can't see,
So you can see.
oh, I'm gonna get it after so they can have a look. Okay. And you see what I've done here? I've marked from my 4.5 inch point, okay, down to where I made my little 1/8 of an inch mark. You can see my angle does not come right down to the edge here. Okay, it is an 1/8 of an inch off. That is really important. Okay, you can all see that? Yes? Good, all right. Next, what I'm gonna do here, and we can see that here, okay, is I'm gonna go 1 7/8 over to this side, and 1 7/8 of an inch over to this side as well, okay? Okay, and again, now I have the 2 marks here, 1 7/8, 1 7/8, okay, off the sides, and an 1/8 of an inch off the bottom again, okay? That's where I want my lines to come and line up, all right? You must be very careful, folks, that you cut these, mark them in the right direction. I can't tell you how often I see this coming down the wrong way, okay? If you do that, your project will not work.
Everything folds in, right?
Okay.
So it all folds in on itself. If you make it this way and you think about folding it in,
now, if we use this, this is a 45-degree angle here. Okay, so you can use this square to your advantage, all right? It's gonna sit, rest up against the angle iron here, and it's already gonna make the line for you, okay? I'll show you the first one. Okay? You see how we've done that from there? Look where it ends up, on the 1/8 of an inch mark. Okay, if you go all the way down to the end, again, it's not gonna work out for you. What's gonna happen is you're gonna have a space here at the bottom, okay, where it doesn't come, and then this should make a nice fine point when it comes to that 1/8 of an inch mark. If you decide you're not gonna do that, you're gonna cut right into this wall of the angle iron and you're gonna have a little space at the bottom, okay? And then when you fold this and bend it, it's not gonna work, okay? You're gonna have this really large gap between your two pieces here, okay? Again, next we're gonna do 4.5 inches off that mark, 4.5 inches off of this mark, okay? Oh, perfect, thank you. Yeah, so Darcy's had this set up, so he's got it marked now. 4.5 inches off of here, okay? 4.5 inches off of here on the other side, all right? I've already made my line there, okay? So now I can set this, all right? That ain't gonna work for me, okay? Okay, just fine, all right. 4.5. 4.5, 1/8 of an inch off the bottom. Again, line it up.
Not a 45-degree angle.
No, definitely not. More of a 22.
So the 1 7/8 just works out to be a 45-degree angle, or is that what
It does.
2-inch depth.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, I'm going to explain this to you in a sec here. This distance from here to here is 1 7/8 on a right angle triangle, right? If this is 1 7/8, this would be 1 7/8, and then you would get a true 45 on here, okay? Yeah, don't make that cut. So there's your little right angle triangle, okay? That's how we find a 45.
2 equal sides.
You got it.
2 equal sides always equals a 45.
Absolutely. Now with this, you can't just go to the end and get our 4.5 inches off of here, okay? All of this angle iron is too long, man. All right? So you're gonna have to measure 19 13/16 over to this side, okay? Which I will do right now. Maybe a quick lesson on grinding, okay? We have our grinder here. Make sure, number one, that the guard is in place. We're not using any of these grinders without the guards on. And when you're grinding, you kind of want to have this guard. They can be adjusted so that your spark stream is going down and away from you. If you have it pointed here, you're going to light yourself on fire, okay? Not a very good thing, all right, at that point, okay? We have 2 different types of discs. We have grinding discs, which are a lot thicker, and zip discs, okay? We do not grind with zip discs at any point. Don't lay it flat and try to work this along here. This thing blows up. It's not nice, all right? can be really, really, really dangerous. And again, when we are doing this, safety glasses and a face shield at the same time, all right? You have to have both on, okay? So, what we have here on the back, you're gonna see on the back of our grinders, is a little button here, which is a locking mechanism, okay? So that'll stop the wheel from turning, all right? When we put our zip discs on, you make sure that they are flush inside of here, okay? There's a little slot that it'll fit into, all right? That's super important. Next, take the top, spin this on, okay? Put your finger on the locking mechanism on the back or your thumb. Take this, spin it till you're gonna feel that go in. That means it's locked. Tighten. Okay? At that point, check. Oh, still not good, is it? Okay, you can do that. Either tighten it by hand or we do have locks here as well, or keys for the locks right here. Okay, now, not necessary, okay? This is more to get them off than it is to get them on. While you're grinding, it's gonna tighten this up, okay, quite snug. So hand tight is usually good at that point, all right? If you don't feel comfortable with that, put this inside of here, right? Hold your button, and so it goes in, there it is, it's locked, and snug it up a little bit, okay? Don't crank it on. Yeah, you're never gonna get it off if you do that, all right? You're a real nightmare at that point, okay?
Can I just add one
Yes,
thing?
please.
Anytime that you are changing a disc, removing a disc, locking one in, unplugged. Do not do that plugged in, all right? It is very easy to hit that button with your hand in that position.
Absolutely, all right?
And gloves would preferable.
Yes, absolutely with gloves, okay? So, you're gonna see that we have a handle here on top as well. This is for your right hand, okay? Even if you are not left-handed, today you will be, okay? You must hold the grinder in your left hand, all right? If you do it like this, you're asking for trouble, okay? And I'll explain why in a second here, all right? In your left hand, finger on the trigger. Please do not use the trigger lock here on the side, okay? We're not at that point yet. Just use the trigger itself, okay? The reason we hold this in our left hand is because the way the blade is spinning, all right? If you're doing this and it seems to catch at some point, the way the direction the blade is spinning, the disc, it will push away from you if it gets caught. If you are grinding it in this position, guys, and you're cutting or doing any grinding at that point and that blade catches, it's coming here towards you, okay? Always in the left hand with it facing this way, okay? That's super important, all right? Again, reason being, if this catches, it will go away. If you have it the other way and it catches, it's coming right in towards you, okay? And that could be really, really dangerous at that point, all right? Plus, you're not gonna get a proper cut if it's going this way. It's gonna be spinning towards us, but we're moving it away from us, okay? That's not gonna work as well, all right? So that is very important, okay? We're gonna plug this in. I'm gonna bring this actually a little closer to me because I don't think, yeah, we should be okay with distance, all right? Now again, be very careful with these, okay? They do have a little bit of torque on them, all right? When we are grinding or when we are cutting, pardon me, you are never putting this on the line and then pushing the cut straight through, ever, okay? That will blow the disc up, it's gonna kink on you. Any time when you're doing this, if this starts going to the side or you turn it like this in mid-cut, you're asking for big trouble, all right? It's gonna blow the disc. These are very thin, okay? The other thing I forgot to mention is as well, when we are putting these zip discs in, check them for cracks, okay, and chips, or anything along those lines. If they're cracked, no good. If it's got a big chip out of the end, no good. Okay, do yourself a favor, break it in half, throw it in the garbage. All right? If you break it in half, no one else can come by and grab it out of the garbage and use it at that point, okay? That's very important as well, all right?
When you take those zip discs, just give them a little bend, right? And you'll be able to see the crack right away, okay? Lots of information on that sticker there.
That's correct.
Okay.
RPM ratings.
Yeah.
What does the RPM rating have to be on the zip discs? Guys, talked about this in class. Higher. Yeah, same or higher than what the RPM rating is on the grinder. Okay, that's really important as well. Okay.
I showed you all of you this beforehand. This goes for cutting with a hacksaw, a grinder, and especially for welding when we get into it. But always get yourself in the best ergonomical position that you possibly can. These vices, they all are maneuverable and positionable, right? And you can always move your project around. You want it good and solid, but you also want it in a good or ergonomic position.
Yeah, so you can see.
So you can see and visually see what you're doing. If you're working up here, right, it makes it extremely difficult to see what you're doing. So it's not a big deal to put this on an angle. Eventually we'll weld, and when we weld, you want to get yourself in the most stable position as well. But anytime you can get this in a better ergonomical position, if anybody's fitted for a welder, they'll fight you all day long to get them as comfortable as they possibly can be. And you should do the same thing when you grind or weld or whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Saves your back in the long run.
You got it.
As well.
You got it. Okay, so again, safety glasses and face shield, okay, are mandatory. You do not want to see anyone doing this without their face shield down. Again, if this disc blows in your face, in your nose, anywhere possible that it can go, okay? So you got to be very, very careful.
We have these as well.
Yeah, make sure your shields or the screens are shut.
Yeah, we don't
okay?
need to be spraying sparks across.
Okay. Now with this, you're gonna figure out your pressure, how much pressure you're supposed to put on this, and that comes with a little bit of practice, okay? The best I can tell you is not pushing hard down on it, but not too light as well, where you're just kind of holding it in your hands. What's gonna happen is this thing's gonna bounce all over the place, okay? So you want to apply a little bit of pressure, all right, at first, okay? So I am gonna turn this a little bit here actually first, just so I can get these square cuts off. Actually, I'll flip this over if you don't mind, and I'll just do that cut there. Okay, now I can see this, visually I can really see this, okay, which is great for me. I want to be able to see exactly where I'm cutting, and I kind of want to start in the forward motion. So what we're gonna do first, again, I'm not just gonna start on the edge and push this through. Your cut's gonna go at all angles. These are not horribly stiff, they do have flex on them, okay? So you wanna score the pipe or the angle iron or whatever you're doing first. So, okay, we're gonna come down here, I'm gonna find my line, I can see it, look where my head is placed. I can see where I'm going. I got my right hand on the handle, my other one on the trigger, and I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna find my line. Now you can see I've scored it right across the line. I didn't cut all the way through, okay? I've made my line, now it's gonna be nice and easy. Now I know I'm not gonna go off track when I do this, okay? And again, not too much pressure, you're gonna push right down into it, you're gonna blow the wheel out. Okay, so we're slowly gonna work our way back and forth now. And we're gonna thin out this angle iron so that when it cuts through, it's just gonna be like cutting through a piece of paper by the time we're done, okay? So again, nice and lightly, and we're gonna work our way back and forth a bit. You see how easy that was? I didn't have to put any significant pressure on it. I have just enough to hold it steady into place. And you can see how we get a nice, even, straight cut when we are finished, okay? We score it first, then we work the zip disc back and forth as we are going, okay? So then we get a nice flat, nice straight cut as we go, okay? Any questions, folks?
Do you want us to file those edges or anything?
Sure. You could put a little bit of a file on here. We're gonna have to clean them up a little bit after anyways, because when we were oxyacetylene welding, we want it to be a very clean surface, right? Any dirt, rust, grease, oils, anything like that, okay, are gonna affect the weld, all right? So yeah, you can take a file to this after, just to keep it from, you know, being super sharp on you, and that's totally fine, guys, okay?
When you're done
Yes.
working with the grinder, unplug it.
Please.
Don't place it there and just leave it like that plugged in. That trigger will get pulled accidentally all the time.
Okay,
It's like a loaded gun.
yes. Go ahead, Mike.
Folks, oftentimes in the field, especially the fitter world, okay, you're gonna cut lots of I-beam, all kinds of things, all kinds of different types of steel, and the common practice is after you're done cutting, you take that file and get rid of those edges, because who knows who's gonna come along and just, oh, this looks like the piece I need, and grab it, right? So that's common practice for us, okay? And you know, take it to the bank with you, right? So.
And it doesn't take lots. Few strokes down, few strokes underneath as well to get rid of that sharp edge, and you're good to go, okay?
Also, there is hearing protection up at the front there. I suggest you use it.
Okay? Next, tip goes on. I think this is a number 3. It says right on there, you can see, yeah, this is a number 3 here. Okay. When you put these on, hand tight. No wrenches, folks, okay? Doesn't need one, all right? Just hand tight. Okay. Over at that point. All right. Next thing. We have oxygen and we got acetylene. Which one is which? Red for acetylene, green for oxygen, okay? What is the rule when we are doing this, Zach? You just said it. A before O or up you go, okay? That means we turn on the acetylene first, light the acetylene, then we add the oxygen as we go, okay? When you're turning it off, you do the opposite. You turn off the oxygen first, then you turn off the acetylene, okay? So what we're looking for here is a nice neutral flame, nice balanced neutral flame, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna set my acetylene, all right? I'm gonna open up my acetylene here, which is already all the way open, doesn't need to be. Acetylene, you can just open it partially, okay? Then we're gonna go to our acetylene here and we're gonna go clockwise, and you're gonna feel it get stiff here, there. And you're gonna watch it, and you're gonna bring your acetylene up to about 3 PSI, okay? You can see that right here on the gauge. We got PSI on the inside, we got KPA on the outside. Okay.
Step 1, acetylene, 3 PSI.
Okay, then turn off the handle, okay? Here, next, open the oxygen. Now with oxygen, they say you should have it open all the way, okay? Very important. Same thing, we're gonna tighten this up, then we're gonna get it somewhere in between, I'd say 15 to 20 PSI, but you may need to adjust, okay, in order to find that nice neutral flame that we're looking for. You can hear it now, okay? Close it off. What this also helps to do is get rid of any dirt or any particles left inside of the end of here, your tips, okay? You just blow it out with some oxygen. Yes, we do have tip cleaners, absolutely, man. So if you find, and I'll explain that when we get here, if that it is feathering out, okay, all over the place, then you might want to clean the tip, absolutely, okay? I'm just gonna grab my striker here. Again, no lighters. Please do not use your lighters. Okay. Again, what are we starting with first? Acetylene, okay? We're gonna open up our acetylene partially, all right? Just a little quick turn, okay? And, all right. What do we got there? What kind of flame? Carbonizing, yeah, or carburizing flame. Absolutely, we wanna get rid of that, okay? So you're gonna open it nice and slowly. So it just gets rid of that carburizing. You see how it's nice and quiet? Okay, that's what we're looking for, all right? Next, we're gonna slowly add our oxygen. All right, we're gonna bring it down so that we have a nice little cone. And look at my flame. Dirty tip, huh? Not good. We're gonna have to clean this one, okay? Which we will do very quickly. You see I turned the oxygen off first, then the acetylene, okay? I'm gonna grab a tip cleaner. There should be some on the desk over there. You do not want to use and force it in there, okay? It should never even really touch the sides at all, so you must find the right size when you're using the tip cleaner, okay? And it should just go in very nicely, and you're just giving it a very light clean around the inside, okay? All right, so you're making sure not to damage the tip itself, okay, or the orifice at the top of the tip, all right? Next thing, we got a little bit of a file in here as well, which Mike showed me last time, which is awesome, okay? And we can take off a little bit of that soot off the outside here, all right, if we have to. Next thing I'm gonna do here is just try and get rid of that, okay? I'm gonna open the oxygen a little bit, all right?
Folks, you can leave that on when you're cleaning it. Just leave a little stream of oxygen so when you are loosening up that debris, it's not getting, you know, it's coming out of the tip.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. Okay, so hopefully that did the job here. Let's check and see. All right, again, carburizing, okay? Too much fuel, super loud, all right? Just gonna get it to that past that point where we don't have any smoke. We're gonna add this in. That looks a lot better, okay? You see we have a nice cone. It's not super loud, okay? We don't want a lot of screaming going on there, okay? We add too much oxygen. As soon as scream is gonna blow this out, okay? What's this called? Neutral, okay? This is what we're looking for. Not too loud, nice and quiet. Neutral flame with a nice short cone here, okay? Next, before we get into the welding, we must do the bend portion, okay? In order to do the bend portion, you're gonna come down the edge of where you made the cut, where it comes to a point here, okay? And you're gonna slowly heat it up, straight up and down, till it gets nice and red, okay? Trying to keep this line as straight as possible. If you have to, use your square and draw a line on there as a guideline. And you can see I'm just using the tip of the cone, okay? I don't have it back here. I don't have it in super close, okay? I'm right at the tip of the cone there. Now what I don't want you to do is to just grab this and go and push it, all right? Because it's gonna come up at an angle or it's gonna get messed around and it's not gonna lay flush to each other, okay? We're gonna heat this up, and then what we're slowly gonna do while we're heating this up is we're gonna make this bend. And while you're making this bend, you can see I can move it, see this? Up and down, left and right, so that you're keeping it flush with the top. Nice and slow. Me. Just want to tighten this a bit. Thank you. I'm really manipulating this now as I'm doing this, okay? All right, until they tend to line up at that point, okay? Obviously mine is not perfect, all right? Must have had an error in the cut here, okay? And we're gonna try and keep this as square as possible. Making sure that it is square is very important, folks, okay? Again, oxygen off, acetylene off next. All right, bring this back and hang your torch up. You do not have to turn the oxygen and acetylene off every time, okay? Just leave these here as they're set. As long as your torch assembly is turned off, that's fine, all right? Next thing I wanna do is grab a square, okay? And I wanna make sure that this is square, okay? And you can see here, I got a little bit of a gap in mine, all right? We will be able to fix this later on with a little bit of filler metal, but our ultimate goal, you guys, is to have these so that they are very close to each other, within 1/8 of an inch, okay? Make your life a lot easier in the end. So I've squared it.
A good way to visually see if it's square is use this big tri-square here.
Absolutely.
Or, I mean the regular square. You line it up across that back side there.
Yeah.
And if you look at it coming off the top here, and I have my gloves on so I'm gonna touch the end, you should have it so that if you just pull it back just a bit, that gap is even all the way across the top there.
Okay.
Right?
So you want no gap? Do you want
Minimal.
touching?
Almost touching. Yeah.
Like, square and almost touching is perfect?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Very unlikely it'll happen.
Yes.
Well, it's too much deviation in the cuts. You know, you're removing some
So
material.
at that point, you would just make it square?
Yes.
I would make it square
Yeah.
and try to fill in the weld.
Correct. If
right?
you don't
As
make it
opposed to having
square,
it not square,
Yeah.
then when it butts up on the end here, you're gonna end up with an issue.
yeah. So as long as this is square, this one's square, they should line up nicely by the end. If this one's all the way pushed in, it's not gonna line up with this by the time we get down to that
Yeah.
point. Okay?
And you can even set this square up, like if you want to, everybody's working beside somebody, you can get this square set up here. You can have the one person eyeballing it as you bring it in to get it right into that position.
Okay?
As close to square as possible.
Any questions, folks? Acetylene set to what? Say it.
3 PSI.
3 PSI. Okay? Oxygen set to what?
15 to 20.
15 to 20 in there, okay? If you find that it's not getting a nice neutral flame, it's really loud, you might have to reduce your oxygen a little bit or increase it, so on and so forth, okay? If you have any questions, please ask, all right?
Acetylene before oxygen.
Okay?
Light. When you light it, then reverse the process.
Yeah. Light the acetylene, add the oxygen.
Try to light that oxygen.
What I got here, guys, is a couple coupons, okay, that I've grabbed out of the bins there, and I've already pre-cleaned them. I've grinded them down here, okay, on each side on the top, all right? You want to try to get rid of any oils, paints, coatings, or anything on there, okay, that are going to affect our weld at that point, all right? So, I don't know if you guys want to really run and grab your shields or tinted so that while I'm doing this, you can take a turn coming up and having a look to see what I'm doing. It's going to be hard to see from the back, okay? So please go grab them, all right? Okay. So with this, you don't necessarily want them touching. You want them a tiny bit apart, maybe the thickness of a credit card, okay? In between there, okay? What that'll do is it'll help you get a little bit more better penetration through it. So you're trying to melt them, fuse them together, but all the way through, okay? You're gonna have a little bit better heat at that point when you do that, okay? So again, we're gonna take our acetylene, we're gonna light it. Okay, and add that as we go. Now, What I'm gonna do is you need to almost get a preheat started. So you're gonna start running this in circles, and what we're looking to do is form a puddle. And you're gonna see the puddle start to form on the bottom. We're gonna apply even heat to both sides. So I'm gonna do this small little circle, and pardon me, I'm gonna move this because I wanna be comfortable when I'm doing this. I don't wanna be standing back here trying to, you know, getting all nervous, so on and so forth. You wanna get in a nice comfortable position, okay? So your arm down, hand on here, and inclination is also a big one. You don't want the tip pointed straight down, okay? We're gonna have it at a slight angle, so it's almost preheating the coupons ahead of time, okay? So again, I'm gonna start very slow. I'm gonna get the tip of my cone almost right touching, and I'm gonna start doing these little circles, and you can see I'm heating up both sides evenly. And what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get a puddle in here. I'm just gonna wait for that puddle to form. Guys, I'm just gonna adjust my flame here a little bit.
This actually brings up a really good part of this lesson, folks. Folks, when he's doing that right on the table, where do you think all of his heat's going? It's getting absorbed into the table. So we have these nice grates here.
Correct.
Okay, where you can avoid that. It's like so the table will not steal your heat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would encourage you to try it on the grating.
Absolutely.
Okay?
And when you're doing your projects, you're gonna have them up here, so that heat's not gonna get robbed by anything at that point, okay? Okay. Okay, swing down. There it is. You see how fast it's heating up now? A lot better. There's my puddle, and I'm gonna try and push the puddle up. And what I'm doing is I'm doing little C's or little happy faces, you could say, left to right as I'm going. And I'm going from one side of the coupon over to the other. And pushing my puddle up. Okay, now I can start to push that puddle. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. So about a second on each side should help you out. Yeah, I lost my puddle there, and I just continued it on as I went. And you can see my torch inclination, guys. It's kind of aimed ahead, so I'm almost preheating the metal ahead of it, so that it's ready to go. Make sense? Good. Okay. You could practice on some coupons. What I want you to do is I want you to get this bent first. Okay? And if you want, you could take 2 coupons and practice one on them. Don't sit there and practice for an hour and a half. You will never get the project finished at that point, okay? I'm gonna flip this over as well, and you can see I have some good penetration on here. I've pretty much gone right through, okay, into the other side. All right? That's what we're looking for, folks, okay? If you have any questions, please ask, okay?